talk about people losing their jobs at Petrotrin, and we are seemingly ignoring the social impact that it may have. You know, people losing their jobs. What is their state of mind? They are probably thinking, how are they going to send their children to school if they don't get, you know, proper compensation when the refinery at Petrotrin closes? I have with me counseling psychologist Mr. Gregory Isaacs. Good morning.
Good morning, Rishi. Good morning, Rishi.
How are you this morning?
I am fine, thank you.
Mr. Isaacs, people are on the verge of losing their jobs.
I'm losing it.
Yeah. What would be their state of mind?
First, we ought to appreciate that nationally, we are facing high rates of unemployment and separation issues, that kind of thing. The householder who is employed at Petrotrin, who is employed wherever, who loses their job, who is no longer employed, immediately he's affected as a person, as the head of the household, as the provider, as the father or the mother, depending, you know. And his relationship with his spouse, his relationship with his children are negatively impacted immediately, because we have been, as social beings, we have been taught to accept the reality that, well, us males, we are the providers. We are, you know, scripture tells us that, you know, you're less than an insect if you're not able to provide. So when that is removed, you know, you feel your esteem is removed, your sense of personhood is immediately lessened, and that causes a lot of, it could introduce mental disorders. It could
what type of mental disorders?
But somatic disorders first begin, you know, you start feeling fatigue, a lot of headaches, tiredness, and then if you're predisposed to hypertension and those kind of things, that is exacerbated, and other illnesses that you may be predisposed to become very, very real now, that kind of thing, those situations. So it's really human element. The job separation, the Petrotrin issue is more than just a political and an industrial one. It's a very human one affecting homes and the communities.
Yeah. But, you know, the Prime Minister said that they're going to get their separation packages. Would that provide some sort of comfort, or is it that they're looking at it more long-term?
Short-term, yes, it will provide some. But the reality is, I mean, as trees, you know, maybe other Caribbean islands and across the board, we don't have a history of good financial management, future planning, financing our retirement, financing for emergency. That kind. It's not part. You know, the statistics show well over 60 to 70% of our workforce don't have a real plan in place for retirement, don't have a plan in place for separation. So even though you get a package, however big, if you're not careful, that could end pretty soon and remain, you know. So yes, it's good, but it's not the answer. It's not the answer, and it really requires long-term planning, a whole re-culturing of the individual, preparing them for a new life and those kind of things. And if you don't put in place things or develop habits to counter those negative effects, you're going to find yourself in a lot of trouble, and that's so important.
Now, one thing the Prime Minister said is that a lot of the people are over the age of 50. How do we look at that, and how do we take that?
Yeah, and that is critical. You see, the older person who may have been employed 15, 20 years, the effect on that individual is significantly different, worse than the under 25 who just started. You know, they are more resilient, they tend to be able to bounce back easier.
Yeah.
But at age 50 plus, and you get retrenched, you get sent home, and you don't have a real plan in place for retirement, you don't have a plan in place for separation, you are going to be in trouble, and you need help.
So what are some of the signs that family members can look out for in case, you know, anything is wrong?
Well, the stress factor shows up in how they behave. You have anger issues, you have blame issues, you know, if this had happened, if you had done this, and you start to blame, and relationships begin to break down because people are not managing their relationships well. You may even have domestic violence. That's real. If you remember last year before, when our Selco shut down one individual committed suicide,
yes.
that's a possibility as well. So you can't rule out any of these things, you know. So it's a matter of managing relationships, and that person, I think, must seek help. You know, I am not sure if Petrotrin or these other organizations would have provided the social and help for them, the mental help for them. But we at JOSAL, we stand ready, and there are other counselors available to help you manage yourself and your as an individual. But all is not lost. There are things you can do as an individual for yourself, and it's about putting a plan in place for yourself. What do I do on a daily basis? You know, the worst thing you do is, I'm going to be sleeping in bed till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, just, you know, watching TV and whatever else. That kind of a habit starts, you know, to deteriorate the quality of life, you know. So you have to put in place plans, start building good habits. You know, if it's just get up in the morning early, have your cup of tea or breakfast and go for a little walk, and, you know, find things, you know, you do your own self-evaluation. What can I do? What can I do? The prophet was asked one time, you know, what's in your hand? You know, so it talks about, you know, whatever skills, what abilities you have, and if you can engage those things and start doing things and build a new habit so that when opportunities come up again, you're there. You know, you can re-engage a new workplace, a new environment, that kind of thing.
In 30 seconds, what kind of advice can you give to these workers who are ultimately on the breadline? I
am saying, first of all, get together in groups as teams and have support systems. Sit down honestly with your family and let them know the reality and start talking to your loved ones, whether it's your wife, your spouse, your children, your elder children. You're talking about 50 plus, your elder children. Start having conversation and start putting in place some kind of a plan going forward.
Mr. Isaacs, thank you very much, because this is a very important topic, and I think the conversation surrounding the social impact of the closing of the refinery is something that we need to continue.
Yes, we must.
So thank you very much for joining us